Hey guys, let's try this again. I want to welcome you to a TGIF vlog. Thank God it's Friday. Vlog for today, November 5th, 2021. First of all, hopefully you guys are chatting it up in the live chat during this premiere. And yes, super chats are indeed open if you want to help donate there. Also, if you want to help donate financially to the brand, I have my Venmo that you can donate to. You can find that in the description, as well as you can also help donate at Patreon. I have a $1 tier that gets you guys a shout out, and a $3 tier which also gets you a shout out, as well as exclusive content that you can only get on Patreon. That is YouTube content, but it is basically exclusive to Patreon due to the unlisting option they give you on YouTube when it comes to certain videos and all that you only want certain people to see. Now, I'll admit I haven't updated it as much, but that's going to probably change over time. The other thing I want to let you guys know about is the is the fact. What I'm trying to say, I'm still waking up a little bit. I'm, like I said, trying this again because my mom not only called once but 3 times during the span of a 15-minute break. The other 2 times she wanted to kind of make sure she was doing her login for her pay velocity app correctly, because she and her fellow teachers are getting paid today, and they're getting paid in a big way. But yeah, I do apologize if I'm a little off, but as I was saying, the other thing I want to let you guys know about is the fact that, as I mentioned in a channel update, which I was trying to look up before the phone rang, a vlog, of course I did a vlog back on the 2nd, so we'll see. Here it is, channel update. Basically on the 1st of this month, basically 4 days ago, I came on here and I did a channel update, and one of the things I mainly focused on in that channel update was the fact that I was going to be uploading some videos to premiere around Thanksgiving, if not on Thanksgiving, that is basically Thanksgiving break, Thanksgiving Day. And I've already started doing that as of last night. And basically what I did, you pretty much see it here on the channel. We have the DCWA, that is the name of my CAW league, my Creator Wrestling League on WWE 2K19, as well as Fire Pro Wrestling. Once I get that up and running down the line, and whatever other wrestling games that allow you to create wrestlers and arenas and championships that are out there or to come in the future. But yeah, my DCWA CAW League is represented here because it's an exhibition, not official, nothing to do with the Women of Honor, weekly, bi-weekly, but monthly show, or the Raw show, or the Wrestling Challenge show, or anything like that. Those are basically my CAW League's shows. This is just something that is in tune for the holiday season, if you will. And here, basically, it is the Thanksgiving Day tournament for the women, for the CAW Creative Wrestler women stars or characters that I created. And yesterday, basically the way I did it was, instead of doing a live stream, unlisted, which I would have allowed to basically fully process and get ready to download and then upload as its own thing for Thanksgiving. Instead, I went the route of basically downloading all the video captures that I did of the event. Now, the way I captured it, just to let you guys know, wasn't because of a capture device, but because I have a PS4. I have the option, like a lot of you do, that have a PS4, to capture, as well as an Xbox One and Xbox Series X and a PS5. I have the option of capturing the video footage and saving it and then uploading it to the options that they give us. Right now on the PS4, they only give us the the YouTube and the Twitter options, and that's it. So I was able to basically go to my YouTube, which is connected to my PS4 account, and basically upload a lot of the video clips unlisted. And then, because it's my main channel, which is called channel content, I was able to download a lot of those videos, which was 8 of them. And then I went to Cyber Power Director 14, which I do have to upgrade in the future, either to that or Adobe Premiere, or whatever one people recommend is the best option besides Cyber Power Director and Windows Movie Maker. What I did is I went and used that software, and I edited down, took out all the unnecessary footage in the videos, if you will, in the saved video clips, and I pieced together the tournament as best as I could. Now you might wonder, well, what was the unnecessary footage? The unnecessary footage is, well, basically the downsize, if you will, when it comes to the, saving video clips on your PlayStation 4 or even your PS5, is the fact that you have to end up saving all of what's on there, from beginning to end. And it doesn't matter, what time limit you choose for recording, because it gives you between 5 to 60 minutes. It doesn't matter, how long you choose, you're always going to end up getting, footage that you don't necessarily need. And sometimes that's not always the case, but most times it is. So, for example, I ended up getting the beginning, of the entire game, how I set up the tournament and all that, and I just wanted to focus on the tournament. So that first video clip, I had to edit it down, substantially, to the point that basically it just has, well, what you see here, or what you will see basically on the video, but that's set to premiere on Thanksgiving Day, until it had basically the bracket list of names that are involved in the tournament. But yeah, the tournament, like I said, basically, like I said, I basically saved, a lot of the video clips that I downloaded, and afterwards, like I said, I pieced them together as best I could, took out all the unnecessary footage that wasn't needed in them to focus primarily on the tournament. And the tournament together, from what I can tell, and I'll let you know about this in a moment, runs at a total of 88 minutes. And it is set to premiere on Thanksgiving Day at 8 a.m. Pacific time, which means basically here, here on the west, well, not here on the West Coast, but in other time zones, it's going to premiere, differently. Like here, it's going to premiere at 8 a.m. I think in Hawaii, it's going to be 7 a.m. and in Alaska, it's going to be 6 a.m. And then in the Mountain Time Zone, you're going to get 9 a.m. And then Central, you're going to get 10. And then at 11 o'clock Eastern Time, you will get it, premiering around that. And then I think basically if you're watching from like overseas, you'll be getting it about 7 o'clock. I wouldn't say 7 o'clock, but I would be saying, let's see, let me check something. So yeah, you guys will be getting it like around 6 o'clock in the evening if you guys live in the UK and all that. So it's going to be premiering at different times, believe me. It will be premiering at different times. It's going to premiere all at the same time, but it's basically different time zones are going to get it differently. Like I said, here it's going to be 8 a.m. Pacific, 7 a.m. Hawaiian, 6 a.m. Alaskan, then 9 Mountain, 10 Central, 11 Eastern, and then all the way on the other side of the pond, on the UK, you'll be getting it around 6 o'clock. So, in the evening. So yeah, basically that's something that you guys can look forward to in the coming weeks. You got 19 days according to YouTube before it premieres, because they always like to count a full day from the time it's supposed to premiere, which is, like I say, 8 o'clock. So it's going to be an interesting wait, I'll assume, for a lot of you that are looking forward to that, to see who's involved. I mean, if you look at the thumbnail on the video, when it's set to premiere, you can kind of get an idea of who's involved. But yeah, I think you guys are going to really like it. And that's all I can really say on that. I do plan to do more videos to upload and set to premiere, hopefully with no issues, in the coming weeks, if not the coming days, so I can have some content set up for you guys at that time. Now, speaking of that, when I say without certain issues or hiccups or stuff like that, that brings me into the vlog for today, because I can tell you honestly, this past 24 to 48 hours for me personally has been one of the more crazier out of nowhere situations, especially when it comes to my Samsung QLED 4K 32-inch television, which I've now had for about a year, or going on a year, and it's worked perfectly. But what's interesting is 2 nights ago, which basically falls into the 48 hours ago category. 2 nights ago, I was just scrolling through some videos and all that, and I got to a stop motion video, and when I clicked on it, all of a sudden something strange happened. I saw this info box on top of it, and I'm thinking, okay, is this an interactive video and it's telling me what to do? But no, it wasn't. It was part of the television, and I either hit something by accident, or the television, because it's a smart TV, was resetting itself. So what I did basically is I hit every button that I could. Now, I don't know, like I said, if I hit something here, or whatever, I don't know what happened. So what I did is I turned off the television. I hit the power button here. I turned it off, and then when I waited a little bit, I waited for a few moments, and I turned it back on, and it said Samsung QLED. It had the name on it of the brand, and that usually tells me that it's doing a reboot or something like that. It's basically rebooting itself or updating itself, because certain apps had to update, or certain firmware in the smart TV itself had to update. And what's interesting is, over the past year, anytime I would turn off my television, my cable would go off as well, because it's connected to the cable. So that's something that you want to have, that when you turn on the television, you turn on the cable simultaneously, but when you want to turn it off, you're turning off the cable as well simultaneously. Well, instead, after this certain reboot or update, I went and checked the info, the settings, right? I went to settings, and I went to where it tells you about the memory and everything, kind of like a computer. Kind of tells you the memory size and all that, from the gigabytes or megabytes that is installed inside of it. And the memory went back to a smaller number. Like, it obviously was bigger, but then it went right to like 7%, 8%. And then that's when it dawned on me that it reset itself, it updated itself for a new year cycle, for a whole new year cycle, if you will, potentially. And the reason I say that is because instead of going to the cable, or turning on simultaneously with the cable, if you will, instead it went right to the Samsung Plus app. I think it's called the. Hold on for a second. I think it's called the Samsung TV Plus app. It went to that. It went to the Samsung TV Plus app instead. And I'm thinking, what's going on here, right? So I go to the cable. The cable's still connected. It's still working. So I'm figuring, okay, what can I do here? So it shows me, all right, you need to set up your television. So I'm thinking, okay, what can I do to set it up? So I look at the options, and it tells me, okay, put in your area code. All right, I did that. And then it shows me all the cable providers listed, and of course I'm Xfinity Comcast, but it gives me all these different options of, okay, is it Comcast, is it Comcast Modesto Digital, is it Comcast Stockton Analog, what is it? So I went with Comcast Modesto Digital because, Modesto is the closest one when it comes to Xfinity Comcast sending people out to look into things. And obviously everything is alright. There's no issues whatsoever. But again, the only change is now every time I turn on the TV, it automatically starts up with the Samsung TV Plus. Now, I kind of look at it in a very, I guess you could say, silver lining kind of way. Because even though it was good that the TV would turn on at the same time the cable box would, I've noticed at times that the cable box, that when I would turn it on simultaneously, that I would get like a little flash, but it wasn't the TV. Instead, that little flash I would get was because the cable box was turning on as well, and it was kind of like delayed by a millisecond, but it would get this little flash to indicate, yeah, it's on, or the connection's there. But now that I'm just going straight to, Samsung TV Plus when I turn on the TV, I don't get that issue. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a nice silver lining to look at. But yeah, my TV decided, and again, it's so ironic that all I did is I went to a stop motion video, and I'm going to look it up right now. It was the stop motion video for the game. I think it was, what was it? The game, or no? It was Brano. Brano Sair.es Brano.sair.es by Osso. Osso. And again, that's when the strangeness happened. I'm thinking, again, is this an interactive video? Nope. Basically what happened is it reset itself because I think it had a whole year's worth of memory it had to clean out, had to clean itself. And, that's what it did. And so because of that, like I said, I had to basically set up the TV again, for the cable, to allow it to know where it's coming from. Even though I didn't really have to do that, it is recommended that you do it. So I did that, and then because it did this reset, if you will, I had to unplug and plug back in my Roku device, so I can have my Roku apps, set and ready to go, on my Roku, streaming device. So I can, look at Retro Crush, I can look at Boomerang, I can look at Living Scriptures, stuff like that. So I had to do that. The PlayStation 4, thank God, is okay. I thought, oh, am I going to have to do the same thing with that? But no, thank God I didn't, because as I've shown you before, I have a 4K or recommended 4K HDMI switcher, or at least that's how they promote it. It's a HDMI switcher recommended for 4K. So by basically having the PlayStation connected to it along with the Roku and directly into the TV, I'm able to basically play my system as well as play my Roku whenever I want. The Blu-ray, the Ultra HD Blu-ray player is okay as well. So yeah, besides, like I said, having to, unplug, plug back in my Roku to get it working and get it detected. And again, with the silver lining being that every time I turn on the TV, it goes to Samsung TV Plus, and it kind of makes that annoyance of a flash always coming on the screen just briefly. That's indicating that the cable box is also now waking up. What I'm trying to say, let me get some coffee here. Almost had a brain fart here. But like I said, with that being the silver lining, to where, like I said, when the cable box would turn on simultaneously, it would get that little flash and everything, and now I don't have to worry about that because it just turns on automatically to Samsung TV Plus. You know, basically it was just kind of weird. It was just like, again, I didn't know what was going on. Honestly, like I said, I thought the video was interactive, but it wasn't. It was just, the TV decided, I'm going to, reset myself after years worth of programming and just go from there. So and that's what it did. That's what it did. So it still works, thank God. Everything still works and everything. But like I said, the silver lining is, it goes to Samsung TV Plus, so I don't have to worry about that annoying flash from the cable box, from the simultaneously turn on, if you will, both the TV and the cable box, indicating that they are connected, that they are reading each other. Because basically sometimes, and this is what I was trying to say before I almost had that brain fart there and I had to drink some coffee to get me, waking up more. Basically, there are times that it would turn on and we wouldn't have a flash. Instead, the cable would turn on and it would be the menu on the bottom, the app menu, or basically I call it the app menu because it shows you like what apps you have and like what recent channels you went to and what movies are available on certain apps or whatever. So there'll be times, I should say, that it wouldn't flash, but instead the app thing would come up very slowly because it was doing updates, for the apps as well as itself. And I think what it did here was a major firm update, as well as reset itself for a new year of, being used, for viewership or whatever the situation may entitle. Excuse me. But yeah, that was an interesting thing 48 hours ago when that happened. Because again, I'm thinking, was the video interactive? And nope. It was, and what happened is, again, like I said, I either pressed something by accident or basically the TV was like, okay, now I got to reset myself for another run down the line. And that's what it did. And I think maybe once or twice the Vizio TV that's now in the rec room over here, I think it did that like a couple of times as well, but not as much. That was the first time, so that was like a first time in a while that's ever happened to me. But then, on top of that, last night, and again, this falls into the category of 24 to 48 hours, this is more of the 24-hour range, or less than that. Last night, after basically I did the video, I created the video for the tournament, if you will, that I mentioned earlier, and I let the computer kind of go through its motions because it always likes to load or continuously loading after you do the Cyber Power Director deal, and then of course after you do the after you do the upload onto YouTube or DeviantArt or whatever site you're uploading content onto. I let it do its little load thing because it's got the load LED light on the side here, so it's doing that. And it finally stops, and I'm thinking, okay, that's cool and everything. That's all I want to wait for, right? So I go to turn it off. Everything is ready to go. I go to turn it off, right? Guess what happens? So I go to turn it off. I go to shutdown. I go to turn it off. And the thing, it takes a little bit to go to the blue screen where it says shutting down. And then it takes a little bit after that to go to a complete blank screen, indicating it's in the process of shutting down. But it was taking a lot longer than it should. And the more it started to take, and the more time it took, the more I started to think, please don't do what I think you're about to do. And lo and behold, it did. It did for the second time the thing it did about a month or so ago. And that is, it gave me the blue screen of, we ran into an error and we need to fix this, and then we'll restart your computer or resume where you left off intendedly, which was shut down. So yeah, that's what I ended up getting. And I did not know what it was or what it could be that caused that, because I had done long videos before through Cyber Power Director, and nothing had ever happened. So I'm thinking to myself, what could have happened here? So I looked it up on my phone. Excuse me, and it turns out that either I had a corrupted file, I think I can find it here on Google, because let me see. Let me see if I can find it here. Okay, here it is. This is what one of the informations that I would get, or some of the information I got. This is from, let's see, this is from, let me get my glasses here, guys. Hold on for a sec, I do apologize. This is from PatreonWizard.com. This is what they said, and I quote, because this is what I ran into. This is what they said, and I quote. It says, if your computer keeps saying it needs to restart, it means that there may be some issues of your hardware or drivers on your computer. The file system may be corrupted, your computer may be overheating, your computer is attacked by a virus, or the registry files on the System32 folder is deleted by accident. And that's all I can get right there. And then it's even backed up by Windows report by saying the error occurs when there are corrupt system files or drivers. Other reasons for this error could be caused by a power failure or a virus or malware infection. Now, I know it wasn't a power failure or anything like that. It wasn't a power failure. I mean, it could have been, because one of the things I've noticed lately, and it shouldn't be an issue, is the internet. I have an Ethernet cable connected to my laptop, so it shouldn't be that. And if it is, then, what they need to do is they need to let you know, hey, your Ethernet cable is not working properly and it's causing some issues. So yeah, basically I ran into that. And my assumption is this. I look at it this way. The last time I ran into it, last month or so, was when I downloaded that PC Health app, which I think it was IGN had suggested you do, to see if your computer is compatible for Windows 11, which mine isn't. And it was after I downloaded that and then uninstalled it that basically, crap happened. Shit happened. Excuse my language, God. But shit happened. So my thought is that file, and this is why I went on record in a video talking about it, that file to me was corrupted. That was a corrupted file that no one should download, no matter what the situation, and I still stand by that. It's a corrupted file that you should not download, because it could cause issues. Thankfully, I followed the instructions. I kept the instructions with me to how to fix the situation. I gave it to the Lord. I prayed to Him, and thank God, literally, that things turned out all right. But then, again, it happened last night. But this time it wasn't because of an app or anything that I had. It wasn't because of the fact that I had just done, I just done and finished creating a new video, which is 88 minutes, on the Cyber Power Director 14. It wasn't because of that, because I'd done that before. What it was, in this case, what I'm assuming, and it shouldn't have been a case, was it got overheated. Here's what I mean. So, I had this on not that long, okay? It wasn't on for that long, alright? But what I could assume is basically what happened is because it was doing so much, basically with the creating of the file, because the one thing about the Cyber Power Director, and I think this goes for any video software, when it's finalizing, producing, basically bringing to reality a video that you created, that it basically doesn't, the screen doesn't go black or anything like it's going into rest mode or it's going into idle mode or anything like that. It stays on. So my thought process is, basically my mom had turned on the heater because one of the things she likes to do is warm up the house before she goes to take her shower, before she settles in for the night, right? So she turned that on, and my assumption is the heat radiated down to here, and it made this a little warmer at the same time it was working on that Cyber Power Director deal, and it may have caused something to mess up. Now, I'm not saying that's entirely true. It could have been another issue. Thankfully, I'll give HP a lot of credit here. I will give them a lot of credit, and even Windows to an extent, I will give them a lot of credit. They do have the backup options, not backup options, but they have basically, given us the option, if not literally, well, I wouldn't say it's an option, but they basically have built in, a safety feature. A safety feature that basically says most of the time, hey, something happened, let us take care of it, and you should be fine. Because I think they're realizing a lot of people don't want to have to keep buying computers, even though that is their intended goal, to keep up to date or have something in the house. So basically again, what happened about a month ago or so happened once more here. But it could have been a number of factors. Like I said, it could have been an overheating because it was being used the way it was, and also the heat from the heater was coming down. Or it could have also been the internet, because like I said, one of the things I've been noticing at times, and I'm sure I'm not alone in noticing this as well, whether it's through your Wi-Fi or it's an internet cable connection, that sometimes the internet is a little slow. I mean, I recall basically Andre Meadows, when he did his review of Scoob, explaining that, when he tried to watch it on his computer and stuff, that he couldn't because the image wasn't looking so good. When he tried to hotspot it, it still didn't look so good because it seemed everybody was on the internet. So that's my assumption, that perhaps for some odd reason late last night there might have been some people on the internet, around this area, Wi-Fi and even internet cable wise, that all have Xfinity, that basically were basically slowing down the internet coming in this area. And that's what I think may have caused the action that happened of, hey, this occurred and we gotta fix it kind of deal. Thankfully after I allowed it to do that, and then it shut down. I waited a few moments, turned it back on, let it go through its cycle. I patiently waited. I know sometimes when a lot of us go through that, it's hard to wait, but it is worth it. You just gotta let it be that, God, be patient about it, let it run through its cycle, and hopefully everything will be okay. And it was. Yeah, it took maybe about, I would say, 45 minutes, almost 35 to, I would say 30 to 45 minutes, almost 50, to fully get, to where I want it, and to where after the LED light, the load LED light, got into stabilization, that I was able to turn it off. And thankfully, this time around, it turned off properly. So hopefully I won't have that issue again. Like I said, the only problem I could think that happened was either, the internet wasn't, connecting correctly, because the internet does have, does have a true purpose when it comes to loading your computer, bringing it up to speed or shutting it down or whatever, because a lot of the things it has to load when it starts up is courtesy of internet connection. Or, like I said, it's because I used the Cyber Power Director to do what I did, and it kind of overheated it maybe a little bit in combination with the heat coming from the heater. That's just speculation. This is speculation. But hopefully, Lord willing, this doesn't happen again. Like I said, I don't know if maybe it was the files or something. You know, as a matter of fact, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take these files here. These are the files from the tournament. Yeah, these are files from the tournament. So let me try to clear out this a little bit. Hold on, guys. I do something. Okay, I think that's enough. See what we have a combination wise. Oh, we got into the gigs here. Go figure. Yeah, it should help out a lot. Yeah, it helped out. Anyway, though, like I said, I don't know if it was those files or what happened. But again, my two assumptions is either the internet was slow in connecting because maybe some people were on it for some odd reason, or it was the fact that there was an overheatness of the fact that I was using this to do the video for the tournament, and then that kind of caused it to overheat a little bit, and then the heater itself was coming down, and maybe the heat kind of combined together, merged together, or something. I don't know. It was just weird is what it was. It was just really weird. But hopefully, like I said, Lord willing, that doesn't happen again. But yeah. But yeah, it's just one of those situations to where it's like, all I'm trying to do is trying to provide content for my viewers here on my channel, my subscribers, at the same time trying to make a little money on the side through the monetization. And basically my computer decides to have a hiccup. Thankfully, like I said, give them credit, they put in the safety feature of, hey, we can fix this automatically and see what happens, and see what goes from there, because yeah, it's just sometimes it basically gives you gray hairs when you don't need them. I mean, I should say and that I should speak when it comes to that department, but the thing is, it gives you more gray hairs than needed. Because of the fact that, my computer doesn't have no viruses. I mean, every day, well, not every day, but every other day it does a freaking virus scan. And every other day it says there's no issues detected. So, I don't know exactly what happened, but again, my two assumptions is either the internet was too slow on the uptake, or it's because this had been on for a while, because I do have it on from when I open it up in the morning or in the afternoon, depending on, when I decide to do it, till about late at night, which would be basically like a little after midnight, 1 o'clock, whatever. So I have it on for some time, but the thing is, it never has an issue like that. It doesn't have, like, what I'm trying to say is it doesn't have an issue like that as much as it did, and my thought is it overheated because it did feel like it was getting warm, like there was that warm smell coming from it. So I'm thinking it did get a little overheated, like the circuits were kind of overworking themselves, and then in combination with the heater's heat didn't really help as well. So hopefully that doesn't happen again, Lord willing. But anyway though, guys, it's been, like I said, it was an interesting 24 to 48 hours with both these things happening with the TV and the computer. Just, I can't really say any more than that, but let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know how you feel about it. Comment down below. Live chat during the premiere. I'd love to hear from each and every one of you. Again, like I said at the beginning, check out the Patreon, the Venmo, to help donate there. Hopefully you guys have, maybe thought about donating super chats during the live chat. Maybe, I don't know. But also, if you want to see the rest of my content, I'm at BW Roses on VENMO. For content you can get there that you can't get anywhere else. As well as you can check me out at BW Roses. Like I said, on Patreon. You can also check me out at BW Rose's Discussions on all your favorite audio platforms except for Pandora for the podcast. You could also check me out at Teespring. Check out my Teespring store for some stuff there that I think you will enjoy. So until next time, guys, pray that this video, because it's going to have to go through Cyber Power Director as well, will not go through similar issues. So until next time, guys, I'm out. Take care. God bless.